Does what you consume you? I feel like you know the answer to this question, or that you already have this nudge, this sense that the way you consume social media and media in general, maybe even like podcasts, music, all the noise you allow in your life and in your brain are not doing you very good, because otherwise you wouldn't be clicking on this video. Maybe your algorithm is already filled with videos about stop the doom scrolling, or switching to a dumb phone, or curating your life, or analog living, or something like that. Maybe you've already been on a path to valuing more and more a life where you're not constantly filling any dead moment in your day with some kind of noise. And filling even non-dead moments, like multitasking your walk, your way to work, or when you're cleaning your apartment or your home, or when you're doing things, cooking or whatnot, doing these tasks at the same time as you're listening to stuff or watching things. I suppose you wouldn't have clicked on this video otherwise if you didn't already think or feel like there's something about it that isn't really right for you. We used to look at TV programs, and it was like, what's the program on TV? And I feel like that's a really fitting word, because it programs you as well in return. Just like the things we eat are things that we consume. I'm eating an apple, but then it becomes who we are. So that's why I mean, like, it kind of consumes us in return. Like the apple becomes part of what creates the next cells of the body. We say you are what you eat, right? And I feel like that can expand to we are what we consume in a thought level. The books we read, the podcasts we listen to, the music we listen to, the many TikToks or Reels or whatever, and the YouTube videos, all of these things, and as well as whatever you binge watch, reality TV and series and movies, all those things are information that, if they're repeated often enough, do influence our thoughts, do influence the way that we move through life, the way that we filter our reality. And so we can absolutely choose to consume things that influence our subconscious thoughts in a positive way, or in a direction that we want. And at the same time, we now live in a world where a lot of what is being consumed is done algorithmically, right? So you find yourself given things that you didn't even really look for or choose or consciously think like, oh, I want to go in that direction. You might be like, oh, well, that sounds interesting. You might find yourself also like entering little rabbit holes that pull you further and further in certain directions without having any time to process if it's actually a direction you want to go towards, or if you actually believe what you're listening to, or what you believe about it even. It's just like, oh, let's fill the next second with yet another video, yet another reel, yet another podcast, and not have any time to really reflect. And I think that nowadays this sentence of like, what you consume consumes you becomes so true. So many people have lost a lot of their focus, some of their creativity, at least some of their original creativity, really coming out of boredom into like, what do I want to do? And of course, we've always been influenced by the people around us and whatever was available as entertainment and as media. And so there's something really, really nice about the internet kind of opening doorways to like endless different ways to see life and to create new thoughts and all of that. And at the same time, I think nowadays this information overload has become something that really like overwhelms the brain, and also creates almost a glorification of information. This idea that, oh, I should listen to podcasts every day because it's good, because growth and fast growth is so important. And what is growth? Growth is just having more and more information and like maybe changing your life, maybe not even changing your life, but just understanding stuff as quickly as possible and adding this and that and this, and it becomes like so mindy. It holds us sometimes even more out of the body and into the mind, which is something that I feel is happening too much in humanity a lot of times. School and all of that has intellectualized us and taught us to stay in the mind, and we're very comfortable in the mind. And sometimes people really don't make any space for the body anymore, which is great for productivity, I guess, because then you're very good at suppressing your body's intuitive like scream for a break. But at the same time, a lot of people nowadays have issues with productivity anyway, because the focus capacity is kind of gone and the brain is overwhelmed with so much information that it's not really made to take in anymore. And I think the problem is that we tend to take on so much information that so little of it is being retained, because there's only so much that you can retain. So depending how you consume media, it might be so that sometimes you might be scrolling or watching videos or whatever, and while you're watching them, while you're interacting with that specific video, for example, you are feeling inspired, but then you don't give it any time to kind of land and do something with how you show up in the world, because you're already from one video to the next just like don't have any break, don't have any time to like take that in, soak it, let it soak in, and let it really like marinate with the rest of the informations you have about life and the world and what you need, and let it really interact with your system, so that then you can kind of have something palpable from that. Instead, we kind of go from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and don't really like let it sink in. It's kind of useless stuff. It's almost like eating a donut that might feel delicious in the moment, it might feel good, but it doesn't really nourish anymore. It's kind of empty calories. I feel like the way media is being consumed oftentimes, and I know I've done this over and over again, where it's like, just give me all the donuts of media, even if they're interesting things, intelligent things, inspiring things. If I overconsume them, I don't end up retaining much from it, and I end up losing a lot of time, where maybe just having one or two of these videos or podcast episodes or whatever, but really sitting with them properly, maybe taking notes while I'm listening or afterwards, or just really letting them sink would have led to the same amount of knowledge, maybe even in a more integrated way, and I would have lost less time. Nowadays, it's so much a thing to like know who you are and be authentic and like be yourself. And it's like, yeah, but everybody's confused about who myself is, because we're just not giving ourselves time to be ourselves. We're constantly consuming. So I don't want to vilify media, because I think there's so much goodness about it, because it expands our horizons and make it possible to question the status quo that maybe we grow up with, or the culture that we're in that is limited to its own experience. But at the same time, I think that now it has become like such a big like binge, right? And a lot of it is not even particularly good stuff. Like a lot of the time it might be a cat video, or someone being angry at something, or something just mildly entertaining just to pass the time. So a lot of it is not even meant to help reflect or grow or inspire. Sometimes it's just meant to pass the time. There's nothing wrong with that in and of itself, but if it starts to consume your life and you're finding yourself dulled, you're finding yourself kind of faded a little from all that consumption, then it can be really worth it to learn to set boundaries, because boundaries are not just for the way that other people treat you or whatever else you have put the word boundary around. Boundaries is around also ourselves towards the media that we consume, and not only boundaries but also intentionality. Maybe removing a lot of the algorithm stuff and being like, okay, I'm going to consume stuff specifically to go in a direction I want to go in. It's so easy to program ourselves, to focus ourselves in a direction by consciously choosing what media we consume and in which direction they lead and inspire us. And so I wanted to say this, and at the same time, I think you already know all of this. This is not groundbreaking, but maybe this is yet another video that you watch that's supposed to be a wake-up call, and maybe it's the last that finally makes you step up, and maybe you've already started to step up with this and you're watching this as a way to reaffirm that you are doing something that you really want to do and feel is worth it for you and is like a good path for your life. Yeah, so I think I will leave it at that, and thank you for watching. And if you want to build a life that you really love and in which you feel at home in your body and all of that good stuff, you can work with me one-on-one, and subscribe if you want to watch more from me. That's all. Bye bye.